Hello, 大家好. Welcome to the second episode of AB Chinese. Thank you for tuning in today. Last week we talked about how to say hello and thank you in Chinese. This week I will share with you two ways of saying you're welcome. First, I'll teach you the two phrases that mean you're welcome in Chinese. We'll break them down. I'll share pronunciation tips. And finally, we'll talk about which situations you might use one phrase over the other. So let's get started. So the first phrase for you're welcome is 不客气. 不客气. So the word 客气 means something like politeness or courtesy in Chinese. And when you say 不客气, you're kind of like saying like, oh, I'm not being too polite or courteous. This is something I should do. For the pronunciation, the first word is 不, spelled B-U. The B sounds just like the English B, so 吧. And the U sounds kind of like an English O-O sound, like boo. But the difference is in the Chinese U it's a taller vowel and you have more space in your mouth. So 不. Imagine you have a ball in your mouth, so you can't close your mouth all the way. 不. And then you say it with a rising intonation. One more time. 不. The next word is 客. The K also sounds just like an English K. K. And the E, we discussed it briefly last week, but that was with an I. So in Pinyin, IE sounds different than the E by itself. E by itself sounds like The best way to describe this is it's kind of like a sound of disgust, like or it's like in English UH, like But notice that I clench my mouth more. So put the two things together, imagine UH and then add a sound of disgust. So when you're disgusted, you kind of clench your mouth. And then say this word with a falling intonation, so 客. So you have 不客. And the last word is 气, spelled Q-I. The Q sound kind of sounds like an English CH, but a little bit tighter. So a CH sound is like chi, chi, and the Q sound is 气, qi. So you still want that clenched sound, you're pushing air through your teeth, but your tongue is a little bit lower than chi, a little bit lower and forward. Qi, qi. Normally you would say this word by itself with a falling intonation, but in this phrase you can say it with a neutral tone. So 不客气, 不客气. Now, the second way to say you're welcome is 没问题. 没问题. This is actually better translated into English as no problem because 没 means to not have or there isn't, and 问题is like question or problem. 没 is spelled M-E-I. The M sounds just like an English M, ma, and the E-I sounds like an English hard A, so A. So this one should be pretty easy. 没, and then you say it with a rising intonation. 没. The next word is when, spelled W-E-N. The W sounds just like an English W, like a W sound. And the E-N, the N sounds just like an English N, so N. But you can think of it as like taking an English E-N, N, like Ben or pen, and then replacing the E with the Chinese E. So we just talked about this. The Chinese E kind of sounds like So N, win, may win. And the last word is T. The T sounds just like an English T, t. And the I sound we talked about last week, it sounds like an English EE, so T. But when it's in this phrase, just like the last phrase, you can say the last character with a neutral tone. So altogether it's 没问题, 没问题. So now that you know these two phrases for you're welcome, how do you decide when to use 不客气 and when to use 没问题? Let's start with 不客气 first. It's generally used in a situation where you do something nice or polite for someone and they're thanking you for it. So as an example, let's say your childhood friend from far away comes and visits you and you take them out on a nice dinner. And afterwards they're like, oh, the food was so good, 今天的饭真好吃，谢谢你了. And you're like, 不客气. That would be an appropriate situation because you did something nice for them and you're kind of like downplaying what you did. 没问题, on the other hand, is something you would say when you're getting thanked because you inconvenience yourself for somebody else. So for example, 喂，师兄，给我拿个铅笔。哦，可以，给吧。谢谢了。哎，没问题。And that would be an appropriate situation for 没问题. Can you think of any other situations where you might choose 不客气 or 没问题? Leave them in the comment section down below. Well, what do you know? You now know how to say you're welcome in Chinese. Hey, if you found this video helpful, be sure to leave a like and share this video with your language learning friends. If you want more content like this, I upload every Thursday, so subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to stay notified whenever I upload a new video. Finally, next week, we're going to talk about how to say, I'm sorry. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you next week. 下次再见了，拜拜。